Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Firexfred. Today we have up here in the top right-ish portion of the map, we have FnaticKawaiiRice as our red Terran buddy over here. As you can see from this fancy little display up top here that Blizzard gave to us Shoutcasters, it's very nice. And over here, as the blue Zerg player in the left, we have FXOSheth. That is FXOpenSheth. Now, Sheth's a guy who, when he has been known to do some streaming, and I find him so helpful as a Zerg player. He explains exactly what he's doing and his thought process behind what he's doing while he's playing, and it's a super excellent stream. If you ever see him streaming, go ahead and watch that. You will not be upset. And Fnatic MSI he's pretty well known. He's a young guy, plays for Fnatic MSI along with a lot of other super good players. He has some great practice partners in people such as, and that's my cell phone going off in a pile of change. One of my buddies uses that technique for an alarm, a cell phone vibrator in a pile of change. That's one of the greatest alarm clocks ever. But back to the game, or back to what I was saying anyway. Fnatic MSI KawaiiRice, take a look at the production tab. Everything is normal, that's why I'm just blabbing on. But Fnatic MSI, a great team. Phoenix is one of their players, a great Terran player. TT1, who was just over in Korea and just put up a huge fight against all those Koreans. Go check out those games over at gomtv.net if you have not yet, especially the Korea versus the world team battle. That was probably the greatest StarCraft matches that I have seen to date, except for maybe this one that we're about to watch here. This is a pretty good game. I've taken a little bit of a look at it beforehand. But other notable players, Greetorp and Sen. Sen was also over in Korea doing some very nice things against the Koreans. So definitely take a look at those. And over here, FXOSheth is getting a pretty standard. He got the hatchery first, and then he got his pool down shortly afterwards. And now getting that extractor up, it's gonna be able to get him some minerals. Some extra drones out pretty quickly here, as he is going to have those two hatcheries, of course. Zerg players do like to do that. He delays this speed just a little bit of these Zerglings, but it is going to be able to get him some very nice economy lead. And now we see the factory coming down for KawaiiRice. Still only has the one gas, so we're going to see what he's going to want to do with that. But the factory is coming down, so taking up pretty quickly. He just has these 3 Marines out so far, as well as an SCV out, checking things out. But Sheth, of course, has 2 bases up. He's going to be able to get some queens out very quickly, getting that double queen. And he's going to be able to pump out a lot of drones if KawaiiRice doesn't do any sort of little bit of a pressure, or at least a fake pressure. Sheth is going to be able to drone up very quickly. But going back to Sheth, he is on the team FXOpen, along with other notable players such as Moonglade, who is also in Korea and took part in that GomTV event. You could definitely go check that out. And we actually see a Roach Horn coming down for Sheth, so that's a little bit strange. As well as a tiny push coming out from, Fnatic MSI KawaiiRice. So a Hellion being pumped out now, and we'll see what he's going to want to do. And that's also a command center being put down. So he's going to look for a pretty quick expand, which is a tiny bit of pressure here from a Hellion and a couple of Marines. And we do see that tech lab, and oh man, it looks like Sheth actually got a glimpse of that. So if he was able to click on that, he'll know that it was a tech lab. If not, they look the same as a reactor when they're building. A couple more barracks are coming down too, as he's going to be able to get this command center up and get a lot of minerals from that. But a tiny push coming in right here. We'll go back to FXOpen after this little bit of a push. 5 roaches on the way out right now, so they're going to be able to deal with this push very handily. Oh, we don't want to lose a queen. A couple of overlords just checking out what's going on to their hatchery, but these roaches are going to be very easily able to take out these Marines. And we do see the blue flame coming down right now, so these roaches are going to be able to do very good against this opening from KawaiiRice. And I really like this play coming in from Sheth, actually. We don't see a roach opening very often against a Terran player, but as we see, you're able to hold off some pretty quick pushes. That was a pretty weak push, as he was getting this command center, but you're able to hold off pushes very, very well. Usually, and one thing about that is that Marines can't really micro against roaches. That's one of the big things that causes a lot of problems for oh, and the supply depot is actually going to go down. He could have targeted his tech lab. They actually have the same amount of hit points, and he could have gotten that tech lab down. I would have liked to have seen him do that, but he's just going to go for a tiny little light contain. But what I was saying is one of the big problems with Zerglings early on versus Marines when Zerglings don't have speed, as we see they wouldn't have, is that Marines can just kite them so indefinitely, especially if there's my phone going off. Especially if the person playing the Terran pieces is very good with his micro. They can really kite very well against the slow Zerglings. And now another hatchery coming down. Let's take a look at the income tab. 47 harvesters already compared to the 31 harvesters of KawaiiRice, and we see that he can't even get this second commander down, as that threat of roaches is just a little bit too big right now. This force could probably deal with it, but he might take some losses that he doesn't really want to. Siege Tank is going to help out a lot against any sort of roaches. And this Hellion does scout out that the third base is being put down. He does have those blue flame Hellions, those blue flames already, so we're going to see what he's going to be able to do with that. Going to probably get a ton of kills on the workers if he's allowed to get into the line, but a lot of roaches are out right now, so FXOsheth's probably going to be pretty safe. Going to want to transfer some of those over to this new base up here. So okay, what was I saying before? Roach is very good. I actually love this opening coming in from Sheth. I'm probably gonna start doing this as the blue flame Hellions are becoming very popular now amongst Terran players. Wow, take a look at that income tab, 56 to 38 right now. And now Sheth's gonna be able to start pumping out even more drones and getting more roaches, as well as a Baneling nest. Meanwhile, we see the stim pack coming up, as well as the infantry weapons level 1. And as I was saying, blue flame Hellions are becoming more and more popular amongst Terran players because they're just so good. Zerg players have known that Banelings are super good at killing a lot of things, and they've always been using them. For some reason, blue flame Hellions, which are very good at killing a ton of stuff at once, have not been quite as much used as I think they should have been. They're so good against a mineral line. Just tear through any sort of mineral line, any sort of Zerglings. They're very good against them. But now a little bit of a clash is about to happen. Stimpack is done, so he's going to be able to stim out, and I don't know if this is enough roaches to actually deal with this. That is a lot of units. These blue flame Hellions do not do a lot of damage, but they help a little bit against these roaches. These roaches are being forced to pull back. They don't quite have that speed Galeo Run Reconstitution done yet, but they're pulling back just a little bit. And some blue flame Hellions in there with probably quite a few kills. 5 kills I saw on one of them. They're just taking out this whole mineral line, as I said. But more and more roaches are streaming, and they're going to be able to take out this push very easily, as we see no reinforcements are coming in just yet for KawaiiRice. So that push is cleaned up very handily. A couple of Hellions escape with their lives, but this roach opening is doing very well against this Hellion opening. KawaiiRice is probably going to want to start to get siege tanks. There he is. He's getting siege mode, and a couple more siege tanks are going to be very good against this roach army. They do have that speed upgrade now, though, and they're coming in for a little bit of attack. Marines aren't actually that good against roaches, though they do have that stim pack, and they're able to do quite a bit of damage. But roaches just have so much damage, and they have the armor, which reduces the Marines' shots by quite a lot. And the roach is going in for a little bit there, but all the SCVs being pulled even from the main base. That is not something that KawaiiRice wants to be doing right now. We're going to probably transfer a couple of them back up there. And meanwhile, we see a little bit of a drop in here in the main base. Oh my goodness, blue flame Hellions in the mineral line. That's something you do not want to see. Tons and tons of harvesters going down. He was at 68 before. We'll see what it's like afterwards. There are so many going down. Zerglings coming in, and he picks them up with the medevac, and Queens are probably going to be able to shoot that down, but no, he drops again in the other mineral line, and even more kills coming in. Those blue flame Hellions are just so good against harvesters. I saw 16 kills on one of those Hellions, and we had 68 harvesters before, now down to 54, but he's actually been making drones, so I believe even more were killed. More drones are on the way, though, as no other real pressure is coming in against Sheth. Excuse me. He also has another macro hatch coming up now, as he does have quite a bit of income right now, as we can see from this income tab. 65 harvesters to the 50 harvesters of KawaiiRice.